welcome to this evening's edition of NFAT Coaching. Today I'm going to do a spread with you in my Silk and Sonder planner. I'm going to use this seasonal sticker book, and I'm going to talk about actually how to get started with planning. So if that interests you, I encourage you to stick around. Welcome back. Glad you're here. So this is my Silk and Sonder. This is what it looks like before I do anything. And then here's something close to what it'll look like when I am done. This was last week. But for this week, let me show you how I do this. So the first thing I do is I white out all the words because even though like I actually do in this section say how I want to feel, I just really enjoy adding my own flair, so I cover that up. But the rest of the sections I just don't even do what is labeled there, so it doesn't make a lot of sense to have those words there. Now, obviously, this is part of the way that I make it decorative and that I enjoy it for myself, which is why I do this. This part is certainly not necessary. I started my Silk and Sonder over a year ago. I actually have a video of things that I learned in that first year. So I will link that up above here for you to see if you are interested. And though I got started, man, I mean, it was during the pandemic, and it was a price I was willing to pay, and it was like an advertisement from Facebook. I'm pretty sure that got me hooked, got me into it, and what can I say? What attracted me to the Silk and Sonder is that there were certain parts of it that it did for me, right? So the theme for October is patience, and I really like that somebody else was choosing the theme. That really helps me, and so I really like that. I like that it was monthly. It's going to be something new every month, and that was going to help me because I know that I tend to, I don't know if it's boredom or just be really attracted to whatever's nice, new, and shiny. But either way, I have a tendency to switch planners throughout the year, and I've done that in the past, and I didn't want to do that. So this was a way to give myself that variety while still being very consistent, and I have loved it. I have been planning most of my life. I got some planners, I'm pretty sure in high school, actually junior high, and I think junior high is when the very first time I can remember using a planner. And I've been doing it in some way, shape, or form really ever since then. I really enjoy using a planner, having a planner. And of course, if you watch my channel, you know that I have more than one. This is not by any means my only planner. But I wanted to talk to you this week essentially about how to start planning, because I get that question a lot: is how did I get started? How does one get started? How do you know if you're gonna like a certain system? Those types of things. And so because I get this question so often, I actually have created a guide that's going to go to all of my Patreon members. And so every Patreon member is going to get access and get a copy of this guide. It's a 5-step guide to planning, and it is going to help people make decisions such as what type of planner to use. Do you need an electronic planner? Do you need a paper planner? Do you need some sort of hybrid of those two types of planners? So that's going to be So that is gonna go live on Wednesday in my Patreon group. So I just found these washies in the Seasonal Fall, this new sticker book from the Happy Planner, and I just love them. So I'm just using some of them to mark off the top at first. When it comes to planners, how to plan, what to plan, a lot of that really truly is a personal thing. Like, you kind of have to, I encourage you to go into it with a spirit of just wanting to try and see and practice and just do something a few times and see if that works out for you. And if it does, that's fantastic, right? And if it doesn't, that's okay too. You know, there are people for whom, you know, like my mom, for instance, she's like, you really like planning. And I was like, yeah, no, I really enjoy the decorative aspect. It feels, I really love when form meets function. So for me, this is a lot of fun because it is at that kind of intersection where my creativity leads to something functional that I really need. And I cannot get enough of that idea. Form and function. I just literally cannot get enough of it. I love it. But my mom is like, but it would take you so much time to create the decoration, you wouldn't get the thing that you need to plan done. I was like, well, you got to be careful about that. That is a possibility. There are definitely times where I'm pretty sure I have used the desire or just the actual action of planning as one would call probably avoidance of the task instead of actually just doing the task. But at this point, that isn't the case. I have really learned kind of my triggers and when to kind of catch myself doing just that. And I've learned that for me, doing this type of planning helps me actually do the things that I have that go on the plans because I'm using the planner. And so if decorating it gets me to use it, gets me to remember what it is that I need to do that week, then we are actually we're getting the results that I need to be getting. If that wasn't the case, then I would need to do a different type of planning. But you kind of have to practice it to know. And I would never know that this actually helps me remember and do all the plans even better than writing it down on a to-do list or electronically. I wouldn't know that if I hadn't tried. Now, there's lots of different planners out there, of course, and there's lots of different planner layouts. So this would be more of a dashboard layout. And for me, it's really good for some things and not so good for others. I'll show you how I do the actual weekly spread and how that helps me and what I use it for. One of the things you will find is I do not have any planners that have those hourly numbers because I have tried to schedule my life and say, I will do, I will do item A from 1 to 2 and item B from 2 to 3, etc. And there's something about that form of planning that makes me want to not do any of it at all. Like, I just don't want to. It has the reverse effect that it really should have. It doesn't motivate me to work. It makes me feel really penned in. And it makes me want to rebel. So I don't know why it does that other than, my logic of what if I finish this project in less than an hour? Do I still have to do it for this amount of time? And of course you don't. You just move on, but then nothing's scheduled and blah, blah, blah. So you can kind of see where I'm going with this for me. But for other people, hourly planning helps them get through the day. It really motivates them. It helps them see how productive they've been, makes them feel really good about things. And if that's the case for you, great, like do that. Like that is fantastic. But for at least some of us, you just don't know until you try. So you have to try. Obviously, you don't have to try them all at the same time, but the nice thing about something like this planner is I'll show you on the next page how you have the opportunity to try with some different layouts and adjust the layouts to what will work for you, or, you know, adjust the layout to try a different format and see if you like it. You can also find spreads out there where people have turned horizontal spreads into vertical spreads and vice versa. Really creative people. I've been very impressed with some of what I have seen in the planner world. Such amazing people. So, but a planner like the Silken Sonder really gives you this opportunity to specialize and make it your own. So I'm a big fan of that aspect of this planner. But also, you know, keep in mind, I also have a happy planner and 2 Erin Condrens. So, you know, when people say you have to choose, I am not very good at that. I will almost always choose some form of abundance. That's my goal. It's just kind of how I think about things and how I roll. But all of that to say that taking that experience that I've had and of trying different things and taking the experience that I know other people have had, this is why I created my How to Start Planning guide with just 5 steps, 5 questions to think about. And then, of course, if you have questions after you see and fill out this guide that you could get if you join my Patreon group, then that's what I'm for. You can ask me for next steps. Once you fill it out, you can say, okay, now that it's filled out, what do I do with this? And you will probably need to ask that question, but maybe not. It's really up to you. So here is the first section of my spread, the dashboard spread. Very Halloween with the colors. And so then I go on to this page. This is the weekly spread. And this is a spread that you can number it down the side. I'll show you, this is what I do. So you'll see that in just a little while. I break it down into 3 sections. This is my to-do list, this is my schedule, and these are my notes. But I decorate the top. So let me use some whiteout on these very beautiful bouquets. All right, and as you can tell, I am not particularly careful about that process because, you know, there's other things that may peek through some of the washi that I use if it's a lighter washi, and you can see it here too. So I'm just not overly cautious or worried about that. Oh, that was the previous month. So I don't want it to be so obvious. All right, so this part I'm probably going to speed up and not talk through. I'm just going to lay down some different washi's and a pattern here at the top. And once I'm done with that, I'll show you what I do next. right, so I'm almost done with this. I am coming here just to, I'm going to add a little bit more of this green in the white spaces, and then we will call it done. So I will speed this up again. All right, so that part is done. You can see that is the part that takes the most time, and that's okay. But super fun once it's done. And yeah, you can see some things through it, but I'm also gonna add some more stickers. So that is my next step. I now kind of add some stickers here at the top to further decorate the top just for fun, as you have seen. So these are just, I'm just gonna add a few stickers. How cute. Ah. So you got spooky, got some ghosties, and then these ghosties are saying boo. All right, I have some other stickers that I got actually at Rite Aid, but we're gonna add some of these too. I think these black background ones will work really well because these are on black. Candies are really cracking me up. Look at that pineapple. Crack me up. Candy corn. I don't actually like candy corn, but I think it's cute as a decoration. That there. Oh, this Hocus Pocus is cute. We'll put that there. All right, so then we're gonna call that finished and decorated. So that's real simple and done. Then we go back here and I'm gonna add some boxes and some ghosties and just some cute stuff up there. I think for this one, I'm gonna use these ghosts. And what I'll do is put one at the top of these sections, and then I'm actually gonna write on them. So you can see I write words to tell myself what is in each section, even though I've done it so many times, it's not like I'm gonna forget, but I just think this is gonna be super cute, a super cute way to mark the pages. Let's see, and then we'll do this one here. And we'll go ahead and center this one there. So then I will write down the things that will go in that area. And then the last thing I will do is I'll take some highlighters and I will make this look like this. So I think I'm gonna do that off camera also, and then I will come back and show it to you. If you are interested in my how-to planning guide, I will link below in the comments how to get into my Patreon group. It can be as little as $3 a month. I really look forward to seeing you there. And of course, if you just have any questions about how to start planning, or like if you want to talk to me about planning you've done in the past and how things haven't gone well and you're trying to revamp things and you want some coaching and some ideas about that, again, go to my Patreon group. There are lots of ways to connect with me there, and I would love to talk to you. So I will come back shortly and show you the final product. All right, and we are back with the finished product. For those who want to know, these I use some Sharpie S notes for the highlighters, and these Emma Uni fine point for the words. I find that the S notes are almost too bright. They do just the slightest bit of ghosting, but I still really like them. They're not the mild liners, which I have still found to be the absolute best. But here you go. I have the spreads done, except for that I haven't written out the words here, but I'll do that really quick. So this is where I plan my meals for the week. This is my feels for the week. These are my books that I'm reading. These are my priorities. I put them different words, but I like to use the word focus. And then these are my nights, my evenings, and what I'm going to plan on doing there. And then in this section, what I do is each box is a part of my life that I'm focusing on. So the house, my family and friends, podcast, my MFAT coaching, my festival chorus, my mental and physical health, and my book clubs. So I'll write those down, and then the key things that I need to focus on in those groups. But I will wait until Monday when I have to do that again. So that is the next week in my Silk and Sonder, and I hope that you found this interesting to see how I did it. If you have any questions, let me know, and I look forward to hearing from you. All right, if you enjoyed this video, I do ask that you subscribe to this channel and click the like button. Let me know, and yeah, I hope you are doing well planning, and if I can help you, let me know. Thanks. Bye.